Welcome to the Pistol Midweek Mental Break.
All right, Mark, midweek mental break.
Hola.
In the beginning, I didn't think we would have enough for every week. But shit, man, we got shit for weeks.
We're never going to run out of material.
Holy shit.
Never.
It's like the
we're
Tonight
guaranteed
Show.
material
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
We got shit for weeks. This week, clearly, we can't do the midweek without the officer that was just convicted for going into the wrong apartment and shooting the occupant of that apartment. Geyer, I think is her name.
I have a question on that.
Don't shoot.
Sorry.
Oh my God,
Come
you guys are
forward
too
with
bad.
Wrong choice of words.
Come forward with your
Guys,
question.
that was not scripted.
Sorry. We've had a little whiskey.
Question on that. Have you guys, since you all are police, been that, let's see. My only thing is, I'm colorblind. If there's a red fucking rug right there, I'd probably notice that. That's the only thing that really fucking boggles my
I'm going to
mind.
tell you something.
I've been tired as fuck before after
Yeah.
shifts and stuff like that. But that would kind of cue me.
I'm going to
into-
tell you something, Tony, and I'm not defending her in any way.
No, that's why I asked.
The longest shift I ever worked was 42 hours straight.
Yeah, I've done a few.
yeah, well then
Days.
that's overwork. Yeah,
Right.
and then that makes sense.
And I don't remember how I got home.
Yeah,
I did that. a
I
lot on
got the
Graves.
right house. But I will tell you this, not as a defense to her,
yeah,
okay? But motherfuckers leave kids in their cars.
true. You're right.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Now, how do you forget your kid in your back seat? How do you get the wrong apartment? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
But I will tell you that one of the things on the Geyer case that struck me as odd was that I think everyone here that is sworn is you don't just pull the trigger.
Right.
true.
That
You-
was my thing.
Yeah, you give commands.
That is a
Something-
good
there's
point.
there's something that happens.
Right. There's a escalation of force.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's command, there's
Yep.
command presence, there's, you're yelling, you're
Fucking evaluating the scene, like
Well,
just,
Right.
just even a quick millisecond of scanning to see and realizing I'm not in my fucking apartment.
And,
Right.
And I know they are all exactly the same. But
They
the
are.
furnishings aren't.
No, they're not.
The stuff on the
Yeah.
walls
Exactly.
aren't.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of
The
where
lighting
my
isn't
question,
even
yeah.
the same.
Right.
Because your
Exactly.
lights, he's going to have different lights on than what you did. This is my opinion, and obviously with no evidence,
Yeah.
I don't think the truth was told in that case at all.
as far as what?
I don't think she was telling the truth.
Well, they hit her.
Just
They did
don't-
a search warrant on her phone.
Well, fine.
Right, and she was busy on it.
Yeah, she was busy on it. I mean, don't
What
get me
was she
wrong.
doing? What did
she
she
was
say?
texting
I
another
didn't
officer.
really-
Yeah.
Dirty things.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was
Dirty
involved.
things. Yeah.
Oh.
Which look, you do whatever you got to do.
Hey.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't Monday morning quarterback. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I will tell you that usually people give commands, right? And we've talked about this in the past. Tony's brought it up in the past, like, hey, stop or I will shoot.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're trained
To do.
every time you take that thing out of your holster. That is as instinctual
what do you
as
guys
putting
think
your
it is?
finger
Well,
on
and
the
here's
trigger.
my
Like, what is-
other question though.
I don't know.
Is it
but
instinctual?
we're missing a huge portion of the
Well-
truth.
Is it instinctual to pull your gun first?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my other question.
Absolutely.
With that is the
But
police
that's
challenge.
only
The challenge.
is that only if you visualize something pointed at you? Or
No.
No, there's
The
all
co-
sorts of
yeah.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My gun would come out even
So-
if there wasn't a weapon. If there was just a threat
Right.
of
Yeah.
a weapon, it
So
would
what's
come
the
out.
threshold
or
for
a
like
threat
a
of anything.
taser?
Think about your burglary calls. Things
Yeah.
like
'Cause
that,
I
your
don't know,
alarms.
yeah.
You go in with
Here it
that.
is. If there's a potential where somebody could be killed.
I would kill them first.
Now,
yeah.
this is long before you even see a threat. Like what Veronica's saying. You come into a burglary call, there's an alarm call, probably cold,
Yeah.
but you take your gun out and you're clearing
Yeah.
each corner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
There's
Better
a
safe than
challenge.
sorry.
There's a challenge that goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, even in some of the shootings that we've seen more recently, drop the knife, drop the knife, drop
Yeah.
the knife.
Police don't
Yeah.
move,
Right.
drop the weapon.
Police, you identify yourself.
And every
For
time there is a
The
verbal
thousands
command,
of thousands of times that we pull our weapon out at the range, every single
It's
time,
never just up and shoot.
Bang.
It's
No.
Yeah.
something that happens in that
pull
moment.
it out, and as you're clearing leather, it's police don't move, drop the weapon.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
Okay.
Police
There's-
don't move, drop the weapon. And
That
you've
makes
already
sense.
seen that target turn, and he already has a weapon.
Right.
Right.
And that makes sense. Yeah.
And
you're-
you're,
Right.
police don't move, drop the weapon. Bang.
so there
bang.
is like some thing
It's-
missing.
It's an
there.
odd
circumstance.
circumstance.
So what do I mean?
I don't know,
Ideas?
man.
I don't think that
Do you think she had some form of malice?
I don't think she had
No,
malice
I
at
don't
all.
think it was that at
I
all.
think she jumped the gun. This has nothing to do with gender.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with race, religion.
Right.
This is simply she thought she was in the right apartment
She was startled.
and she
Fear.
fear.
fear
Fear.
set in
I'll
and
buy that
she
one. I'll
fired.
buy that one.
Exactly
Yeah.
what
Right.
it is.
Fear.
She was scared
Yep.
into that, and
Right.
I will buy that one.
Yeah.
I will buy that. But one way or another,
She did it.
she did it,
Yeah.
and the she didn't divulge that, and that's completely plausible. If she would, I
Right.
think she would have gotten the same sentence if she said, "You know what, I was just scared shitless,
Yeah.
Right.
and I pulled my weapon and I fired out of
out of
fright.
fear.
Out
Not out
of
of being a
fear.
cop,
Yeah.
just out of
Not
being
out
a
of
human.
training.
It was just a
Right,
not out of
just
anything
fear.
other than I was a scared person."
I was
Right.
I was
And it scared me.
responding. Yeah.
And it scared me because it was the last place I would expect it.
So let me ask you guys, 10 years. Reasonable?
No, I don't believe it's reasonable.
For the victim, you mean? Like it's just
Right.
an unreasonable sentence for that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with you.
I don't think anything less than a minimum of 15.
15 years?
Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you fucking killed someone.
Right.
Like,
An
who
innocent
was in
person
his
died.
house?
Who was in his house.
In his
Regardless
house.
of your reasons for why you did it,
Yeah.
you killed an innocent man
Yeah.
who was
Yeah.
in his home doing
I agree.
nothing.
Yeah. I was not happy with the 10 years. That dude was mind his own business.
Yeah.
Forgot to lock a door like I have many times before. Eating a bowl of Cheerios, get smoked.
Fuck, that sucks.
And 15, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that there's no reason, I say that with the same malice that I say with if you leave your kid in the backseat of a car, you go
should
to
get
prison,
charged, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She was trained. She knew how to confront and address and contact someone who she thought may have been in her apartment, and she didn't do any of those. I know they went back into her phone, and they found that she had been corresponding with another officer, which is fine.
Yeah.
Right.
They're both
Yeah.
singles,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
a problem.
I don't even think that's
Right.
not relevant.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not
It's
relevant at all.
irrelevant, but at the same time, she did wrong.
For sure.
And unfortunately, he paid the price.
Right.
And she should pay the piper for that.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's my opinion. I know that in this day and age, they're looking for us to hang us, to send us to prison. And just like Rodney King, we talked in the previous one, you do wrong, we expect the justice system to work for us just as well as anyone else.
Mhm.
She pulled that trigger without giving commands. There was never anything in that I saw in the transcripts that said she gave commands, stop or I'll shoot.
Right.
What are you doing in my apartment? She straight went to bullets,
Right.
Bam.
which, I know there's been a whole lot of riff between the brother and her hugging, which to me is neither here nor there. He forgives her, that's fine. But she needs to pay the piper for that
for
mistake.
sure. Yeah.
If
There's no doubt about
honestly,
it.
if there's a glimmer of grace and beauty and a hero in this story,
the
and
brother.
it's
It's the
that
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That guy's
Yeah.
heart is. I could not
I-
be that guy.
Well, and
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I
I'm
don't know how
sorry.
you
and
how.
I'm glad that there are people that way, but
Mhm.
if you killed my family member, I
in
would
his
have
home on his couch,
I would have no
doing nothing wrong.
I would-
that's
Right.
I couldn't bring it upon
straight
myself. I
murder.
wish I could, maybe, but I can tell you right now, I wouldn't have it for you. I wouldn't have
No,
it for you.
I couldn't. I don't think I could find that.
Maybe just to get the
compassion.
opportunity to get up and shank your fucking ass,
Yeah.
you know?
That's what I was thinking. Honestly, so in my paranoid mind, that's what I'm thinking. He's gonna keep
He's
pen
gonna
pals
shank
with
her.
her. In 10 years, he's gonna be there at the gate waiting for her when she gets out.
Yeah,
He's gonna
but-
kill her.
But you know what?
That's
though,
what I thought,
in,
and
in
I
all
hope that don't happen
reality,
either.
I think that she was still a good cop, and this is just for anyone. It has nothing to do with cops or
Yeah,
anyone.
nothing.
They went into her phone. They checked a year back, and comments that were text from a Martin Luther King Day parade in 2018 came up in 2019.
Oh wow.
Right.
Wow.
So, it at the end of the day, that's what they're looking at. Okay, joking or not joking. Unfortunately, there used to be a time where you could joke with somebody, you know,
Yeah.
but now you can't because you never know what the end is going to hold. For her, she was a professional. She knew her job. She knew it well, and she failed at that. She could have called 911. She could have challenged him.
That's why I'm falling back to this. She was just scared.
Well, and that's
Even
that's
scared.
It's dude, because I look at all of that evidence stacked up, and I was like, here's a person. She comes home, she opens the door, finds it unlocked. Opens the door, sees the man inside. Like, she's not expecting to be a police officer there. I mean, that's probably where she went into
That's where she's homeowner.
code nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
She
Black.
She called black.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, this is my safe place. And for her to see an image like that, I'm thinking she was just scared and she operated completely out of panic
Right.
because wasn't any training. Because in training, I don't have time to say, you know what, this guy is this race or that race or
Right.
you don't have
You're
time.
you're never.
You got a
trained like that.
millisecond,
Yeah.
and you don't have time for anything other than what's he got in his
Well-
hands, what's he got in his hands, what's he got in his hands.
Well, and that's what I
Oh.
was gonna say is if they're trying to paint her as some like racist,
yeah.
in no way,
that's not
shape, or
it.
form does
No.
she
No.
even
Not
come
even.
off as that.
Uh-uh.
No,
Now,
she wasn't racist at
Did
all.
she make a mistake? Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
she just killed someone. But don't paint her the wrong picture.
Yeah,
you know,
don't make
that's
it something
don't make
it
it into a
isn't.
story that it's not. you
Right.
know,
Right.
That's because that's
She
fucking
needs-
bullshit.
yeah,
But
she-
unfortunately, that's what society's come to. That's what
yeah.
everything has come to. Is
Yep.
everything's a
Everything
race
is
issue.
polared.
Right.
polarized.
There's something. you
Anything
know.
to get a couple likes.
Yeah, it's insane.
Clickbait.
Right.
Clickbait.
Well,
That's what it
and
is.
and you know, she made a mistake. She's gonna have to pay for it. I'm with Mark. I think that the challenge should have been there.
Oh yeah.
Even as a police officer, shit, I've been retired 7 years, and I will tell you that I still defer to my training,
Right.
right? And
Yeah. No.
you know, they pulled her text messages. She was inattentive. If we know that people will leave their children in their backseat because of inattention, what is possible when you're doing something totally different? Clearly, this is it. She should pay that piper without a shadow of a doubt.
Right.
I disagree with the fact that they wanted her to get more time up to 25 years. 15, sure, if that's what the judge calls for. But at that moment, none of us could say what each of us would have done.
Right.
I'd like to believe that I wouldn't have pulled the trigger without commands,
Right.
but I couldn't tell you because I wasn't in that situation.
Right.
So, so with that is part of the midweek. The other part of the midweek, and I think I sent it out to you, was part of Thousand Oaks Police Department. Their chief canceled an award ceremony for police officers because of political issues, which was Republicans were showing up while they were issuing the fallen memorial for the officers. And just like all our podcasts, it's fucking crazy to me that every week we can come up with topics that these motherfuckers are doing to us.
Yeah.
With every single podcast and every single cutting of corners, we get less and less qualified candidates.
Yes.
when it comes to police officers
Mhm.
because they're lowering the standards,
Mhm.
and as they lower the standards, that's the police officer that's going to show up to your house.
Yep.
Guys, you don't want me showing up. at your fucking house.
You don't want
Hey, how could I help?
Tony high as a kite. I'm gonna give you an IV right now. I smoked a fucking bowl of weed. But
I'm a professional.
you should be very, very bothered by what's going on with these standards. They're lowering these standards because they can't get qualified people to apply for the position of police
But
officer.
nobody why would you? What is the benefit?
In
anymore?
in any
You know, it used to be medical. It used to be retirement. There used to be so many.
Honor.
now it's like, hey,
Right,
you're gonna get
yes.
shit on.
Right.
Right.
Nobody,
times.
Nobody's
Here-
gonna
here's
care
the
other
about
thing.
you.
So
Everyone's looking
generational.
to get you now.
Generational. So like all of you that have kids, and me just having family members, any of them that would say, "Hey, Mark, I'm thinking of joining the police
No, you're
department." I'd
fucking
say,
not.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Be a
Right,
banker.
And,
I would
like
say
I come
no.
from
Be
this,
a
right?
banker.
This is a generational thing for me. And when my youngest daughter or my oldest daughter, that's all she knew. Like that's what she wanted. She wanted to be just like mom.
Right.
And as she became an adult and stuff, and started school and was just waiting, right? And then I was like, no, this is not something for you. I don't. And this was like right when all the stuff started happening with
Ferguson.
Baltimore. Yeah, all of that. And I was like, nope, I don't want you to be a part of this. Like, and
Right.
she was like, what do I do now with the rest of my life? Like, I
Right.
had a plan, and
Yeah.
you just like
Shit
told me-
on it.
Yeah, and I was
What'd
like,
she decide?
She went into the military.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but I was just
Maybe I
like,
should've
you
done
know, I told her the same thing. I was like, I don't want any of my children. My son, from the time he was born, right? My husband and I were both cops at the time. He was like this little SWAT guy that ran around our house all day, just sniping people. Yeah, everything. Like that was his life. And I, for a while, thought, this is just why wouldn't he? Both mom and dad are cops, right?
Yeah.
Like this is what he's gonna do, and I'm okay with it. And then years went by, and things just got worse for officers. And there's no way I would want any of
Yeah.
them to do
So there you
this.
go, John Q. Public and Jane Public. The
You should
people
be-
that know, people in the know, don't want our family and loved ones and people we care about going into this profession.
Yeah, you should be
Right.
very worried.
Because of society.
because of society.
I'll
The
teach him all
shish-
day to still take care of people, but I
Sure.
don't want him in this
Yeah.
this profession
No.
because society is so terrible to cops now.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Such a negative shift.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's bad all the way around. So
The Ray.
all the way.
I heard it too. I was gonna let it go. That
No, it's
I gotta call
I
him
am.
out. I gotta fucking call him
fuck
out.
these firefighters. So again, midweek, it astonishes me that we can get this far within a week's process.
and there's plenty of topics.
There's plenty of topics. We didn't even hit on St. Paul.
Yeah.
But again, you guys are awesome. I'm working on getting an officer from Minneapolis down here to talk to us about what she experienced while she was a police officer. So, again, Mark, Tony, Veronica, appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Don't you forget to like and subscribe now.
Yeah.
That's right.